What's up guys, Atlas here. Just wanted to bring you guys a video about how to maximize your farm with Tinker. And once again, if you'll notice, I did take off all of my mods for you guys just for ease of viewing. Alright, so let's get started. First off, items. Like, now this isn't necessarily about how to maximize farm with him, but just items that Tinkers usually like to run with. Blink Dagger is absolutely essential, and so are Boots of Travel. This is my preferred item build in the game. The bottle becomes interchangeable with an E-Blade. Soul Ring never leaves my inventory, but usually I prefer to keep this particular build. I might end up trading out a Soul Ring for a Bloodstone, just depending on the game. But this is my preferred build. Anyway. Alright, so, presuming you're in middle lane, hopefully you are. Safe lane Tinkers are viable, but mid lane is usually his best, especially on Radiant side. We're going for those last hits. Of course, my damage is ridiculously high because I leveled everything up. But during a break in the creep wave, which there's not really one right now, but say you just march the machines and. Well, let me do this. Let me make this more realistic. You start walking away. As you can tell, I'm still getting gold. You want to come to right about here and do your march. And yeah, as you can see, it gets every single one. It gets the ones in these camps, and it gets the ones in these camps. And just a simple march quickly will take out the majority of their HP, and if you're at a point where you've already got rearm, you can just rearm and send in 2 waves. 2 waves should be enough to finish all of them, to finish off all the creeps. And if you're over here, sending it this way is somewhat effective, but a lot of the bots get blocked by these creeps right here. But a decent amount of them can still get out, so usually what you want to do if you want to do it this way, this is one of the easier ways to do it. Let me check, yeah, I got him. But you can usually attack one of these creeps, pull them out so they come out into this area. And of course there's always the guys over here. But this is probably the best method of doing it, standing right here and doing this, doing it in that direction. So I think you might even get a few of them over here. Yeah, you actually do. So right here is the best method. It covers from here all the way. It doesn't cover up to here, so you have to go up here and pull these out. Forgot about that. Okay, so anyway, back to mid lane. You just keep farming, get your last hits, deny. And once again, I'm working with relatively high damage here, so it's pretty easy. My favorite way to harass out, if you watch my other Tinker video, my favorite way to harass people out is just to throw down March the Machines. It usually can get you your last hits, because it kind of gives, they die at roughly the same pace. So, like all creeps die at roughly the same time, and it makes it harder for the enemy hero to deny because he's got too many targets to deny. So, at most he can get 1 or 2, maybe, if he's lucky. Anyway, so once you got a break in the creep wave, like right now, you don't want to get up that close to the tower, and of course this is just because I pushed it, and that's not a bad idea, but usually you want to be up here at about 53 seconds, pull, and you want to do it at 53, I did it at 54, 53 and 54 are roughly the same, yeah, I mean it's still going to stack, but if you're Radiant Tinker, you just need to make sure that you're stacking at all times. Every time it gets to around 45 seconds or even 40 seconds. And even if there's not that much of a break in the creep wave, just try to drop March of the Machines and then walk on up there. Alright, so let's talk about late game farm. You want to drop 1 March of the Machines, Soul Ring, rearm, March of the Machines. And usually 2 is plenty. TP back. Recharge. Go up to your next wave. Machines. TP back. Rearm. Soul Ring, rearm. March the Machines. TP. Or blink. I just blinked to a spot where you can actually still get to me. Usually you want to go like maybe over here, something like that. And this isn't one of the this is one of the harder places to actually be in a spot that's where you can dodge something that would cancel your TP like a fissure. Now this is a lot easier up here because you've got a lot more area to leave them guessing at. And of course, there's just examples of where to be when you're throwing down March of the Machines. And if you want, when you're more pushed up, this is you want to be over here or in here. This one right here is my favorite spot because it gets it really close to the tower. So if somebody's TPing in, you can throw it in this way, and that ought to catch them when they come in. And I love running Beastmaster Tinker because you can get a Hawk to fly over here, and you can cut the creep waves off right at the start of the wave. It helps keep enemy creep waves from pushing. So if that's a problem, having a Beastmaster on your team is definitely a nice thing.
This for again. Go, my little friends. Go. Where did that come from?
And you do want to okay, so if you're wondering okay, you can see I've got all vision on, so you can see where this creep wave is, but they'll basically be at just about the matching spot on your off lane, because you got to remember this is their off lane and then this is yours. So you can tell roughly where the creeps should be by the time they where they are on the map just by looking at your own off lane and looking at their safe lane, depending on which lane you're going to, or looking at your safe lane if you're in their safe lane. This is all just, depending on what lane you're in, you should be able to tell where they are. See, they're just passing the first one, we're just passing the first one, first tower that is. So, make sure to, use the map to the best of your ability. Good map awareness is also key. If you notice 5 of them are up here, and then all of a sudden 2 of them are not, and you're down here trying to push this tower, I can almost guarantee that they're coming for you and it's time to back off. Plus, you really don't need to be, the thing about Tinker is you don't stay in creep waves for very long. You throw down 2 or 3 March of the Machines, and then TP back to base, and then TP to another lane. Usually you don't want to go back to the same lane because chances are someone was heading there to intercept you.
March.
And another good tip, or what I believe to be a good tip, once again this is just my opinion, I like to use laser. I like to get 1 level in laser because it's nice for it helps to last hit creeps early on in the game, especially if you're up against somebody who can deny really easily. Now of course this is level 4 laser and the damage is way higher, but level 1 laser is also pretty nice for last hitting. And it's really good for harassing out the enemy hero because it's laser, gives 100% miss rate. That's my favorite use for it. Is whenever I see them getting close, if I see multiple creeps that I can't possibly deny all of them, I'll try to laser him and deny what I can, and at least that keeps him from getting gold.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
In a best case, usually you want to have your support stacking for you.
Very well.
And so hopefully this camp over here, and maybe this, maybe these 3, hopefully these 3 camps are stacked so you can farm them at a, very nice, you can get a lot of gold off of that. But Tinker is a very high skill cap hero, which means I'm not going to be the best at him. I can't give you the best information possible.
Your bottom tower
you
is
just
under
kind
attack.
Indeed.
It's one of those heroes. It's much like Invoker or somebody like that.
I should say so.
You
Your
can
bottom tower
always
is
get
under
better at
attack.
him. You never really stop learning him.
Positively.
And also my preferred method to farm
Your
these
bottom
is
tower is
March of
under
the
attack.
Machines this way.
Look at them go.
Tends to get the most damage in
Your
possible.
bottom tower
And
is
3 March of the
falling.
Machines if possible. Of course early levels that's not going to be possible to do all at once because it's early and you're probably at level 1 rearm and it takes 3 seconds and you're trying not to get hit by them. You're trying not to get hit by the ancients.
Science in action.
But yeah, this is my favorite. Just back on the build, this is my favorite way to do it because I mean blink daggers are pretty much you have to have it. Otherwise you're probably gonna especially in higher MMR games, it's gonna take in higher MMR, like whenever I started going up in MMR, I noticed people are a lot better at catching you when you don't blink into trees.
Then it's settled.
It's just a surprising amount of things change when you go into a higher MMR.
My sentiments exactly.
Shiva's guard is alright on Tinker. It's not. It's nice for the armor, just because he's already he's got a lot of armor already, and then adding more to that, it's just a lot better. BKB, depending on how much lockdown they have and how much trouble you're having getting away from them, or in fights. And Bloodstone is definitely one of the last things you want to go for. I mean, recently, or like in that game that I showed of my Tinker gameplay, like I wasn't really farming. But that's because I was participating in a lot of fights, so I didn't really have all that much time to farm. And I probably could have found more time to farm. That was my own mistake. But anyway, and I went for Bloodstone as like my second big item, which I did it just for fun because we were winning. So you know, if you do watch that video of mine, you really don't want to copy that unless you're just you know you're gonna win. Just stomp the game basically. Lincoln Sphere, it's good for the mana regeneration. If they do have lockdown, but it's mostly targeted and there's only like a couple of targeted spells, I do like to go Lincolns and not BKB because it's just more helpful, because this just gives you some more tank ability and damage, which Tinker doesn't need nearly as much as he does in a Lincoln Sphere. And Necro Book, if you're kind of fighting your way out, like if you're losing and you're trying to fight your way out, and you know, still trying to win, and you're like the only one who can get out of the base and push, Necrobooks are your friends, Necronomicons. Having one of those will help you push, because he's not. I mean, I've only got this much damage because I've got an E-Blade and I've got like my perfect build. But chances are you're not going to have your perfect build, especially if you're losing. At most, you might have like a level 2 Dagon, Boots of Travel, Bottle, Soul Ring, maybe a Scythe. But if you're losing, I recommend going for a Necrobook. That's just the best way to try to push out lanes with Tinker, because he's not a high damage hero. He won't do that well. But yeah, I think that's about it. If I did not cover something, just leave a comment. If you think there's something important that everybody should know, just drop it in the comments. Hopefully, if it is important, it'll get liked and pushed up to the top. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so rate, comment, subscribe, and if you have anything if you would like me to do a certain video in the future, just leave it in the comments. If you have any suggestions for me, leave it in the comments. I do read all of the comments, and I try to respond to as many as I can. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. This was Atlas. Have a good day.